Hey guys, what's going on? It's Gabriel Santos from gfsantos.com, also the writer and publisher of Marijuana Mindfulness, the ebook, which is available on Amazon. In today's video, I'm going to go over how to achieve goals and still enjoy marijuana. So if you're watching this video, my assumption is that A, you love marijuana, and B, you are recognizing that you smoke weed in such a way that you're not really getting things done, and you don't necessarily want to quit, and you maybe don't even want to take a break, but you do still want to be able to achieve your goals and still enjoy marijuana at the same time. So we're going to break this down pretty simply here, but to get right to it, essentially you're going to have to get to the point where your goal is more important than getting stoned. And it's pretty obvious why that must happen. It's because right now, and this is okay, being stoned is probably more priority than doing what you need to do in order to achieve your goals. And I want to let you know that it's 100% normal and okay to like weed, to enjoy weed, and to smoke weed. And it's even okay to smoke weed instead of taking action. There's nothing right or wrong about doing goals or doing weed. It's just a choice, okay? And so what I learned in my journey is that there is such a way to use weed that actually aligns with the version of you that will achieve your goals. However, it's most likely going to look much different than how you currently use weed. And what it's going to come down to is you really discovering for yourself, what works for you, okay? So as it says here, your goal is going to be more important than getting stoned, which makes your goal your main priority. And then your main objective after that really is to figure out what way you can use weed that supports your goals, okay? So, what that might look like, for example, is let's say, maybe you can use it as a reward for when you complete your tasks. That's one way. You can also maybe, you can do some brainstorming while you're stoned, maybe. Also, in another way to look at it, you're not just looking for ways to use weed to support your goals, you're also looking for ways to not use weed that would support your goals, okay? So, if you recognize that, when you get stoned in the morning, that doesn't really support you in the type of mental space and emotional space you need to be in to really put the focus towards your goals. Okay, you also might notice that if you don't smoke for a sustained period of time, like a couple weeks, that it actually benefits you to take maybe half a day off just to kind of smoke weed and do nothing, right? And so really, one of the main things I encourage you to recognize is that achieving goals and enjoying marijuana are like two separate activities, and that you could still do marijuana and still achieve your goals. It's just, like I said, most likely the way that you use weed now clearly is not supporting the ability for you to achieve goals. And that doesn't mean you have to quit. That doesn't even mean you have to take a break. You just have to, A, switch your priorities so that weed is secondary at the very least to your goal. And then once the goal is your priority, you can really experiment with ways that smoking weed actually helps. And what I learned in my journey is that 95 to 98% of the time, being high just doesn't help me. It just doesn't. And it's not that being high is bad. It's just that I just operate better at a level that I want when I'm not high and I need to get things done. And at the same time, being completely abstinent doesn't work for me either, because I enjoy weed. It's kind of like if you've ever tried to lose weight before, that refraining from eating any sugar and any junk processed foods can be really difficult. And then what happens is when you finally, you know, if your rule is like, I'm never allowed to drink soda ever again because it's the devil, right? There's gonna most likely come some time where you do probably drink a soda, and then you like judge yourself and you feel guilty because of this crazy standard that you hold yourself to, and then you make drinking soda wrong and you make yourself wrong for drinking soda, and then that can sometimes impede our progress. Okay, and so just like with weed, you know, consider, and what I meant with that whole food health example is that there's a concept called flexible, or this approach to dieting called flexible dieting, where, you know, instead of eating a salad once a month and eating processed food the rest of the time, you could just kind of switch that. And like for me personally, I went from 20% body fat to 15% body fat in 6 weeks. And that's not the first time I've done that, but this is the first time I did it where I didn't make myself wrong for eating junk food when I did. And about 70% of the time I'm eating pretty clean, and 30% of the time I'm just kind of eating whatever I want. And I still achieve my goals, right? So in a similar way, you want to become flexible, like a flexible weed lover. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be flexible such that you're 70% of the time, or whatever percent of the time works best for you, you're really going after these goals. And you're not indulging in all day smoking, wake and bakes, every day, all the time, assuming that doesn't work for you and your goals. And then, you know, there might be days where you're like, fuck it, I just want to eat something, or I just want to smoke a little bit, or maybe, you know, like whatever. My advice really is to be more intentional about when and why you smoke, as opposed to it being this kind of like turn to whenever I can't handle my life, don't want to feel like not high, you know. And here's the thing, if you're someone who smokes a lot, like if you're high more often than you're sober, I don't even like to use the word sober because it has this weird feel to it. If you're someone who's stoned more than you're not stoned, then at first, assuming that you really change the way you smoke or you really it's important that you change the way you smoke so that you can achieve your goals, it's gonna feel weird at first, because then, you know, you're gonna be not stoned most of the time. But my assertion is that if you could feel good and awesome about yourself and your life, then you wouldn't need to run to weed so much. Because I'm not trying to judge. There was a time in my life where like being stoned I preferred more than not being stoned, and you know, in the attempt to avoid any kind of mushy gushy philosophical like love yourself type stuff. I feel for you, and I get it, and you know, and just being real with y'all, like just being honest, like I have nothing against smoking weed, and I have nothing against loving weed and doing it every day even. But if you're someone who really has a hard time being with your mind and being with your emotions or lack thereof, and you prefer being high than being with yourself, I get it, I really fucking do, and B, like my sincere hope for you is that you really discover what it is that has you not be okay with not being stoned. That's more of like a deeper topic for people who are really in it. But my hope is that for most people watching this, they're not so deep in the pits, and that it's like a simple, like, you know what, like I'm not where I'm at with my goals, and I recognize that, you know what, I like smoke weed a little bit too much, and it's not like it's a big deal, right? That's great. I'm so happy that's not a big deal, that like, you know, weed isn't a huge deal for you, because it used to be for me. But yeah, so like I said, recapping, make your goal your main priority, and then just discover a way to smoke weed that supports the goal. Because like I said, right now you're smoking weed in such a way that doesn't support your goals, and B, the goal is not your main priority. If it was your main priority, then you probably wouldn't need to watch this video, right? So that's it, guys. I really enjoyed making this video for you guys. It's super late here. I hope you don't mind my super messy hair, and like I'm literally in my PJs, guys. It's literally like, sorry for the blurriness. Literally, it's like 2 a.m. here. And I just read this chapter from Expert Secrets, the book by Russell Brunson, which says, like, you know, early on in your journey with, you know, creating content and like things like that, like you make videos just for yourself, and this might get 0 views like within the first year. That's okay. But yeah, guys, I really enjoyed making this video. I hope this video really helped you out. Stay responsible, stay going after your goals, don't let weed get in the way, and at the same time really enjoy it in a way that supports you. Anyways, guys, that's it. My name is Gabriel Santos, gfsantos.com. Make sure you pick up your copy of Marijuana Mindfulness on Amazon.com, and I hope to see you next time. Peace.